What is up? This is Jack McNeil, or MLB Talk 123 here, and I hope you guys will enjoy this special edition of postseason baseball. Now, the baseball gods have definitely been interfering with this postseason. We have seen Game 4 comebacks by the Oakland Athletics. We have seen the Reds up 2-0, only to lose to the San Francisco Giants at home 3 in a row, something they never did all season. We have seen the Cardinals make a stunning comeback versus the Washington Nationals in a dramatic and stunning Game 5. And we have seen Raul Ibanez, a washed-up outfielder before he came to New York, sign for $1.1 million, replace A-Rod in certain at-bats, and get a game-tying and walk-off home run. But I don't think any of those things are as stunning as this sight right here. If you are a Yankees fan, this is your worst nightmare. Not only did they make a remarkable comeback, Raul Ibanez hitting a game-tying and walk-off home run, only to lose the game in the 12th inning after losing some momentum, leaving a few men on base, and not capitalizing in key situations versus a rookie pitcher in the postseason. But more importantly, the Yankees lost their star shortstop. Their key piece of this team, their team captain, Derek Jeter, Mr. October, Mr. 3,200 postseason hits, leading the Yankees all time in postseason hits, playing every postseason game, playing through pain. That is his big thing. He has a lot of pride, and he did not just give it up. He did not want to be carried off the field. He said, no, do not carry me to Joe Girardi. That is what kind of guy he is. He's one of the most toughest and most competitive players out there. He's batting over 300. He is exactly what the Yankees need in this postseason. When Brett Gardner, Eric Chavez, Robinson Cano, Alex Rodriguez, Nick Swisher, Curtis Granderson, and Eduardo Nunez all have batting average of 200 or below, and Russell Martin just above 200, you know this Yankees team is having problems. When they have an overall team batting average of just over 200 in the ALDS versus a young and inexperienced Baltimore Orioles pitching staff in the postseason, you know they have problems. When they have the problems that they have had, I'm very surprised that they are in the American League Championship Series. They eked out wins in the ALDS. Why? Because they had stellar performances from their star players like Derek Jeter, and they had magical. And I use the word magical a lot in the postseason because that's the only way to describe it. You know, you don't see in the regular season Raul Ibanez come up within 1 week in the biggest stage, national spotlight, and the biggest games of his career and of the Yankees for the whole season, and come up and hit game-tying and walk-off home runs in the most unexpected and unlikely situations. That's why they're magical. Raul Ibanez has made history for himself, but if the Yankees lose this ALCS, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything. They made it a lot farther because of him, but it doesn't mean as much. If they make the World Series and eventually play a very competitive World Series and maybe win the World Series, it's even bigger now. But it's very unlikely that it happens now because Derek Jeter is out. Now, I do not want to be a pessimist. I do not want to be very negative about this because a team can come back from injury. I do relate a lot to the Cardinals, and I apologize for that if you think I'm biased about this, but there's a lot to relate about a team that goes through so many injury problems like the Cardinals this year. Lance Berkman out all year. Chris Carpenter, their ace, out all year. He only got to pitch in 1 or 2 games late in the season. Jaime Garcia got, missed half of the year. Rafael Furcal's missed half the year. Albert Pujols left. Tony La Russa left. Dave Duncan left. They had so many Hall of Fame and star players leave only to make it back to the playoffs, and now they're in the NLCS after just a stunning comeback. So, the Yankees can do this. I'm one of the only people saying this right now. I can assure you that the Yankees can still do this. The tone will be set tonight. Hiroki Kuroda versus Anibal Sanchez. Anibal Sanchez has been fantastic in his last 9 or 10 starts. And Hiroki Kuroda has been very good as well. But this is the first time he's ever gone on 3 days rest. The question is, can he win this game? If the Yankees can win this game, defy all odds, without Derek Jeter, who will be taking a spot by Jason Nix, who have been playing very well. He's only gotten 4 at-bats, but he's batting 500. If he can come through big for the Yankees, he could become a postseason hero. And not only that, the Yankees can still win this thing. The Tigers have not exactly been perfect during this playoffs either. They barely won versus the Oakland A's. They did play, obviously they had some offensive struggles in the first round, but overall, they've been playing better than the Yankees. Their starting pitching has been fantastic. Delman Young has already set a postseason home run record for the Tigers this year. He really did get the big hit last night. Nick Swisher did miss that ball. That was a big play. But again, he had a great game, and he is a Yankee killer. I mean, he really is. He's not one of I would say, the best hitters on Detroit Tigers team when you look at the lineup, but he is right behind Prince Fielder, and you have to expect him to get those big hits in those situations, and he came through big this whole postseason, really, but mainly against the Yankees and last night, of course. But here was, this is what happened. If I haven't really explained it, Derek Jeter did fracture his ankle. I've kind of assumed that you all know that from the title, but he did fracture his ankle. He'll be out 3 months. He'll miss the rest of the postseason. Obviously, if they make it to the World Series, he'll miss that too. He took 4 steps to his left on a pretty sharp grounder, you would say. He landed really hard on his left foot. Obviously, he falls. He's in a lot of pain. He's screaming. He tosses a ball. He went on his stomach. The stadium went absolutely silent, really. It was just a gasp because you not only were losing the game now after coming back, the mood was just so exciting, and you look like, hey, this is a series right here, and it could have been for the Tigers. It really could have. If Derek Jeter wouldn't have been hurt, it wouldn't have gone to extra innings, and they would have won in that 9th inning after a remarkable comeback. This tone of the series would be 100% different. I don't think I've ever seen something like this much momentum for the Yankees and this much excitement turn into a few innings later, this much negativeness and this much, pessimism about the series. Just a complete tone change for the whole series because of this. And obviously Jeter did not want to be carried off the field. And here's what some of the players, even Delman Young, found it really difficult to watch Derek Jeter be pulled off the field. He said he's an idol for many baseball players. And if you really think about it, he's played in all 157 of New York's postseason games since becoming a rookie and winning, of course, the Rookie of the Year. A few other comments and quotes to talk about here. It said it's a tough loss, but it's not going to be something that we're going to, let it derail us. That's what General Manager Brian Cashman said. Also, you got to think about this is a lot of losses for the Yankees this year with Mariano Rivera. And yes, Rafael Soriano has done a great job. He was an all-star closer before, and, that shouldn't be a problem now, but just have to go through. This is not a normal year for the Yankees where everyone is hitting well. They have all these great players, with all the struggles from Robinson Cano, Curtis Granderson, Nick Swisher, Alex Rodriguez, even the play in the field for Nick Swisher, that outfield play, not good at all. Jeter, another thing we forget, he led the American League in hits this year. This is not, him kind of slowly deteriorating his stats. No, he has, come back with a lot of force this year, and the Yankees need him now more than ever. And this really dramatically does change the tone of the series moving forward, but the Yankees can still pull this out. It's going to be tough, though. As much as this is just a deteriorating loss for the Yankees and a total game changer, remember, this Yankees team has almost come back and win so many games, and really, they've scored a lot of their runs in the 9th inning from guys like Raul Ibanez, but they can still win this series. Think about this. They are barely losing these games. And they don't have hits from A-Rod. They're not getting the big hits from guys like A-Rod, Curtis Granderson, Nick Swisher, Robinson Cano. If those guys start hitting, they can win this series. Hiroki Kuroda is going to really set the tone tonight on 3 days rest. Never done that before. Anibal Sanchez has been pitching great. I'm not sure who to predict to win in this game, too. I could see the Yankees coming out and it could be a huge story, or the Tigers just kind of continuing this momentum. But, they still are in New York. The Yankees still have a fighting chance. They can still win one in Detroit. It's not a big deal. They can come back and win this series. I think it will go to 6 or 7 games. Unless Detroit wins tonight, it might go over a little faster. We will see how this series ends up. I could easily see the Tigers winning, but the Yankees can make a comeback. No big deal for them. They've gone through this before. They need to win tonight, though. We'll see how the Tigers handle their closing job. I guess it will be a committee. I would say Octavio Dotel mostly. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed.